OCD recovery is all about the realization that we are all fallible human beings, that we can all that we can all make mistakes. That's what it's all about. If it wasn't, if we don't see that, it's very, very difficult to recover, because we hold ourselves so rigidly, like, oh, I will never make a mistake. I will never, anything's gonna, I couldn't do that. We need to see that. We need to see, hold on, the guy who's helping me, he's made that mistake. Oh, he's done that. People with OCD, they have a mistake that they made in their head when they were like 15 years old. They hold themselves like judge and executioner their whole life, feeling chronic guilt and anxiety. It's very, very important for them to see that other people make that same mistake as them, and you can. And I think you won't get that unless you can see that closely. So when we set those groups up, I wanted places where people would be in themselves. You could see that guy has really fucked something up. That person has really screwed something up. That person has just lost his temper. That person has just got annoyed. That person has just cried. Because it's real. That reality is what changes things. You don't want an environment where things are hidden and not said. Oh, don't say that, because that thing they might, then we shouldn't say that thing, and we shouldn't say that thing, and oh, we can't say that because that might scare someone. Same as trigger warnings, absolute madness all across the internet. Trigger warning here, trigger warning there. People are so scared of getting hurt and so comfortable that we're keeping them too secure. That's not what we want. We want people, there's a risk. Maybe they will get triggered. Maybe they'll see something on Instagram story and they'll get triggered and they'll feel more anxious. Why? Because that is life. That is reality. Life doesn't have trigger warnings. You don't walk down the street and someone goes, oh, something's happened, or saying there's a big sign, oh, trigger warning, don't see that, or don't think that, or whatever. That doesn't happen. There are no trigger warnings. Life just happens. And that is exactly the same way that groups should be. We should be encouraging, triggering. We shouldn't be running from it. And all these forums that are just full of all trigger warnings and be careful of this and be careful of that is a bloody disaster, because you're teaching the person to stay completely comfortable at all times, that they can be nice and safe and protected and nothing ever happens. And that is not the way you're going to get better. You have got to get used to things happening randomly. And that's what happens in the group. Someone will say something, someone will post something, and then they think, oh, that was a bit scary, and then work through it. Obviously, there's a balance. If somebody comes in who's new, who's never seen anything, you don't want to be sort of posting scary articles online that relate to their theme, bang, straight away. But if they stumble across that on the internet or on an Instagram story or whatever, so be it. That's a part of life, and you adjust with it. So I think that is all a very, very important part of how we run those groups.